Traditional and self-publishing, similarities and differences. If you're not already familiar or missed the lesson on this subject, traditional publishing refers to the standards of practice that have been followed for decades surrounding the publication of books. Up until the advent of self-publishing as we know it, writers typically went through a gatekeeping process in order for a book to be considered for publication. Trad and indie walked into a bar. Sometimes traditional publishing is shortened to trad. Sometimes self-publishing is called independent publishing or shortened to indie. We use them interchangeably. The following slides will outline how traditional publishing works. Traditional publishing phase 1. The writer prepares their manuscript and then formats it according to a specific set of conventions set by the publishing world, agents, publishers, etc. Traditional publishing phase 2. The writer creates a query letter that distills the story down to a couple of paragraphs along with other vital info in a standard format. Some agents specify that they'd like to see sample pages as well, so they include that in their outreach. Traditional publishing phase 3. The writer researches literary agents. They query the agents that represent their genre and who might be interested in their particular work. If an agent wants to read more, they'll request additional pages or the full manuscript. When an agent thinks the manuscript will pique the interest of an editor, chances are they'll sign the writer. Together, they'll do any additional edits and then prepare the manuscript to go on submission to editors at a selection of publishing houses. Alternately, there are also smaller publishers that allow non-agented submissions, so the writer would follow a similar procedure, but they'd query the publisher directly without the aid of an agent. Traditional publishing phase 4. When an editor thinks they have a hot manuscript on their hands, they'll consult their acquiring team at their publishing house. If approved, they'll make an offer. The agent helps negotiate the best contract for the author and their work. Or, in the case of a non-agented author, the author themselves would negotiate their own contract or seek the help of a contract lawyer. Traditional publishing phase 5. Once the rights to a manuscript are acquired and a contract signed, the manuscript will go through a series of revisions and edits, a cover will be created, a blurb written, and a marketing plan devised. Traditional publishing timeline. The writing and querying process takes as long as it takes. However, once a book is signed, it takes upwards of a year or more before reaching shelves, often around 18 months. There are exceptions to this, but that length of time is typical. Traditional publishing, the final phase. The last phase is when the book lands in the hands of readers. They have the final say as to whether a book will be successful. In addition to the marketing team investing in the book, and sometimes a publicist, the author also has the responsibility of increasing the visibility of the book before and after launch day. On the other hand, self-publishing has zero gatekeepers. It's all you, baby. The writer-author does all the things, either by themselves or by delegating and hiring professionals such as a cover artist to help in the publication of their book. Self-publishing phase 1. Write the book, revise and edit, send it to beta readers, send it to professional editors and proofreaders. Self-publishing phase 2. Select a release date, write the blurb, the description of the book, create the interior matter, format for digital ebook and/or paperback, have a cover made professionally, or make one yourself. Self-publishing phase 3. Upload the book to publishing platforms, enter in all relevant metadata, such as price, genre, ISBN, search keywords, blurb, etc. Self-publishing phase 4. Create and implement a marketing and promotion plan. Is it really that simple? Yes and no. This list makes it sound simple, and it is, but it isn't. There are numerous intricacies involved in both traditional and self-publishing. If you're here for the latter, you're in the right place. Much like the phases of writing a book and polishing it, there are hurdles to cross and tasks to accomplish no matter which path you choose. As with writing itself, these stages require patience and care. For self-publishing, everything from the book cover, editing, and formatting to the layout, distribution, marketing, promotion, everything falls on the author's shoulder, but that means they have full creative control. That also means it's a lot of work. However, many aspects of self-publishing can be delegated to the pros. Cover creation, professional editing, not required of course, but it is a great idea, promotion, and more. It comes at a cost financially, so it depends on what you're able to invest at the outset. On the flip side, you can look at those costs as investment in your career, and they're often also a tax deduction. Pros and cons to both. There are aspects of being an indie author that I love. Creating my own publishing schedule, having direct influence over all aspects of the process, and receiving the support of the author and reader community is phenomenal. As for being a traditionally published author, working with the editing and marketing crews and publicists have done things for my writing and extended my reach beyond what I could have ever done alone. It's a personal decision. It's a very personal decision, but going back to your why and the goals that you explored in the introduction lessons can help you make an informed decision as you set out on this path. Additionally, it's helpful to think about the realities of your life. As discussed, self-publishing comes with a lot of responsibility. It also requires dedication to putting out the highest quality book possible and being honest about your work. There are loads of examples on Amazon of novels that are hardly that. It appears as if someone slapped on a cover, press published, and that was the end of it. Do they get any sales? Likely not. We don't want that for you. Does your book need to be absolutely perfect? No. Even traditionally published books have typos from time to time. It happens. If you're willing to do the work to develop and write your story, do the research for publishing in your genre, and promote to your market, and we have no doubt that you will succeed. As for traditional publishing, we've learned that landing an agent and finding an editor to champion your work is less about your ability as a writer and more about what they project will sell, along with the marketing plan surrounding it. If you've been querying a while and hearing crickets, it's not personal. While traditional publishing is moving more towards digital book sales, they primarily target a print book audience. What they don't foresee flying off shelves might have a home with the e-reader set. So don't give up. You get to decide. Keep in mind, it doesn't have to be one or the other. Being a hybrid author, both traditionally and self-published, is also an option that many authors have explored, including us. It's absolutely possible to combine the best of both worlds and self-publish some books while seeking traditional publishing for others.